Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It's Tuesday night, and that means it is XCAL time tonight. Short tracking from Lanier, and back in the booth tonight, thankfully, because tonight will be a handful. Nick seems having some trouble getting to pit road. Thankfully, we have Jared Heasley back in the booth tonight. Jared, I saw you were talking to some of the teams to get this thing started. How are they feeling tonight?
Pretty good. They were just on some strategy, different things. Looking forward to this one. You know, you said this was going to be a handful. I can tell you, practicing this one, it's more of a handful to drive than it is to broadcast. So that's why I'm here and not there.
Gotcha. Wild Bill also in the field. Definitely a big shake-up there, getting one of the BRR guys over here.
Yeah, it's always cool to get a multi-time BRR winner out here to, see what he can do with a bunch of the best in the business.
It definitely is, and it's time to get the party started here early with some pre-race interviews, starting with Joe Campbell. And
He's not here.
Weird. Okay, Joe not in the field tonight. I thought I saw him on track a few minutes ago, but apparently not. Wow.
He's not in session. He is in the Discord, but he's not in session.
There is some weirdness going on in the field tonight. I will say that. Have noticed a few things, but last week, Flying Ryan Seams came home second. Let's see if we can get a word with him. Hey, Flying Ryan, it's Doug in the booth. You got me?
I got you, Doug.
Hey, second place finish last week. A little smaller field, a little smaller track tonight. Can you get it back to victory lane?
I'm certainly, the setup feels good. I got a good feeling I possibly could. It's a small field, but, there's still some good guys out here. But I'm certainly going to try to get in victory lane.
Well, it's definitely been an interesting season, and having Nick out there now with you definitely helps you out a little bit as far as strategy. We've seen you two working together, but short track, is there a lot you guys can do together?
If we're all together in a group of something we're all pitting, it helps, and, because we have to mic up and say, but it's just sometimes it don't work out. But on a small track like this, you just pitting and start and just make sure you don't, if the guy's going to let you go by to lead a lap, one of your teammates, you don't try not to hit it, just kind of keep it smooth, don't be too crazy out there. But it's not really, you can do a little bit to help, but it's not like you can do a whole bunch, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely the case. Well, man, you've had an awesome season. You're definitely fighting your way up the points, bringing home some money as well. Good luck tonight.
Thank you, Doug.
Flying Ryan Seams came home second, looking for a win tonight, and I do believe that our pole sitter, Brent Meckes, is with Jared Heasley.
Oh, you got pulled, I think.
Hey, Brent. Hey, Brent, good to hear from you. You're on pole tonight. You feel good about this car?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. Should be decent. Track's really hot out there.
Have to wonder with the hot track and obviously a short track, do you expect tempers to be up a little bit tonight?
Hard to say. It's definitely a short track, so, if you're going to get payback, this is kind of where it's at. I know Joe's been kind of heated at me, and we've had some words. I just want to try to stay clean. Something happens. It is a short track, so, yeah. I got the pole, which is pretty cool. I just kind of lucky with it, to be honest. But I just want to, try to keep it clean, run it as long as I can, and see where we end up at the end. Well, hopefully not crash out in lap 5.
Hope so, man. Good luck tonight. Great job on getting the pole. I know it was a bit lucky, but, man, still, a pole's a pole, some bonus points, and hopefully you can lead that first lap, get a few more.
Heck yeah, that's what my wife said. She always comments, she's like, she likes my pole, so that's all that really matters.
This is true. Good luck tonight, Brent.
Thanks, Doug. Thank you, Doug. I want to give a shout out to XCAL and Aaron. And hey, go to the web shop, buy some merch, support the league. You guys have fun watching it tonight. Have a good one.
Good luck.
All right, thanks, man.
Okay. And on that note, let's see what Matt Bear has to say tonight. Oh, dear God. Matt, it's Doug and Jared in the booth, buddy. How are you doing tonight?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, but how are you feeling? Obviously, you're up there in the points. Continue to hold that pretty sizable lead at this point, although it, it has shrunk a little last couple weeks.
No, it's went the complete opposite, Doug. I won 3 in a row and finished 4th last week.
You're right. My bad. I was looking at my old notes. My apologies.
You good. Nah, you good. Yeah, no, we pulled about a 80 to 100 point lead on second place, or whoever's in second place, I don't really know at this point. It don't really matter, to be honest with you, because they're not going to catch me. But, yeah, I mean, we've been really, really good the past 4 weeks. 3 of the tracks I'm good at, and 1 track I got lucky at. So, I think realistically it's going to take me getting wrecked a lot. But, I mean, it can happen. But, I mean, with these smaller car counts, there's just a lot less points that you're able to lose at that point. Like, so, I mean, if this would have been 10 weeks ago, totally wide open at that point. But with it just being such a big gap and we're having lower car counts, it's benefiting me to where even if I would get wrecked, I'm probably going to have still a decent points night. So I'm just hoping that we can hang on. I'd like to get a couple more wins to solidify it throughout the season, and I think we've got probably 3 or so tracks. We got the road course coming up at Watkins Glen in a few weeks. Go to Michigan again. Always don't like running super speedway races, but I'm good at them. So, but yeah, I mean, but we also have a bunch of short tracks coming up, which I'm not very good at. I'm decent, but we're not the best in field generally at every short track that we go to. That some of these guys are really damn good when we go to these little paper clips and 0.2 of a mile tracks.
Well, it does get a little bit dicey. The smaller car counts will definitely help when you get to those smaller tracks. And like you said, 3 in a row, almost breaking an XCAL record there. But you definitely still have a shot at the season win record set by your buddy Austin Edwards. Can you get that done before the end of the season?
Maybe. I mean, never say never, Doug. It really just comes down to perfect timing at this point, because I mean we're gonna have 2 super speedway races coming up. It's gonna be a little bit of the fuel thing again. You saw what happened last week whenever I beat them. I had like a 10-11 second gap on those guys whenever I came out of the pits. So if we can do that, I think we can just run it back again whenever we go to Charlotte and Michigan and do that there. The road course, I think I've got a 50-50 shot there. I know there will be a couple guys in here that are really good at the road course as well as me. And then you got a couple wild cards. You got Martinsville, you got Bristol, and you have the Charlotte Legends Oval as well. So anything can happen there at those tracks. So there is the potential for it to happen, definitely.
Well, man, good luck tonight. We may see you back in Victory Lane and definitely extending that points lead even further.
That'd be a hard May tonight, Doug. That's a hard May.
Well, good luck, buddy. Go get in the car and hope we talk to you after the race.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Have fun tonight.
Well, that was an interesting series of interviews tonight, Jared.
It certainly was. Still noting that Joe's not in session, so I don't know exactly what's happening yet. I'll reach out to somebody else to see if we have any information on that. But yeah, certainly a few interesting comments there. I'm surprised that Bears, maybe look with how short the field is, I think anybody could win, right? The wrong thing happens, you have a short field, why not go after it? But he doesn't seem as confident as I expected.
Yeah, definitely not. And I know Wild Bill was not very confident. I was also expecting to see Richie West tonight, not seeing him in the car, but Wild Bill messaged me earlier. He is not extremely confident, but hey, you know what? He's still got a shot at this one too. Wild Bill loves some short track racing, and speaking of short track racing, I guess it's that time.
Yeah, like I said, there's no Joe. We're down even smaller of a field than we thought we were going to have. So we're down to 13 cars lining up for this one. So we'll see what happens, I guess.
It's definitely going to be interesting. Brent Mekas, Jeremy Gilliott have the front row. Jose Gadino and Nick Seams on the second row. John Friley and Lautaro Lamperti on the third row. Cristiano Roca and Matt Bear on the fourth row. Albie Hewins and Wild Bill round out your top 10. Derek Colson and Flying Ryan Seams 11th and 12th. 13th will be Sean Andrews. And, as you mentioned, missing a few drivers in the field. Joe won't be in the... Joe's internet is out. It's been out the last 2 days, and he will not be making the field.
The other thing was the 131's not here for JNS either, so they're taking a little hit in points. He didn't have a driver for the 131. We'll talk about why Richie's not here. There is a reason for it. We'll go into that later. But should be interesting.
It definitely is. Small field. Should see a lot of green flag racing, but I doubt we see them get too terribly spread out tonight. This track, they tend to bunch up and stay bunched up, and even when they start to separate out, it's so small, these guys just don't have anywhere else to go.
Certainly, it's 0.375 of a mile. You really can't spread out. You can spread out and you spread back in.
This is true. Out of turn 4, Aaron Hillebush waves a green flag, and we are down and away at Lanier. A $250 purse tonight with only 13 drivers in the field. Every driver gets paid tonight.
Yeah, it's a good night to be in the car there.
No, it definitely is. Jeremy Gilliott back in the car last week and already up here battling for the lead, but the college kid, Nick Seams, sitting in third. Mekas already going back a little bit, but I do believe he did get scored leading that first lap.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be looking for Ryan Seams going to the back of this field. He's going to be one to watch early on and go in front of this. He was fast, just in the wrong heat race that he qualified.
Well, he has definitely picked up one already, setting his sights forward, and you have to give it to Wild Bill. He's already dropped to the back, and I do believe that was his initial plan, is to drop back and play it safe. Still staying with the pack, though, and you never count Wild Bill out.
No, you never do. I think he'll be better than he thinks he is. He just needs to be consistent. I think he'll be fine.
It is interesting seeing him out there. We've been looking forward to seeing him in the field for quite some time and looking forward to seeing how he does. Interesting note, Matt Bear did have the fastest lap for a couple of laps, but now that fastest lap is owned by Nick, the college kid Seams, up in second place, setting his sights. Oh, Nick getting the wall here, and I think there's going to be a lot of scratched up right sides tonight, Jared.
Yeah, they're getting close every single corner on exit and entry. That's because you drive this place almost like a circle. So you get as close to that wall as you can and then go back down the corner. So it's going to be a common thing. It's not going to do anything. I think until you get later in the runs, people start to hit it even harder. For now, this is nothing.
No, this is true. Matt Bear, the points leader, currently in fifth. Good evening to Danny Sargent and Carl Yuckness. Doing great, buddy. How the heck are you tonight? Drop into the comments. Seeing Jason Seams already cheering on the college kid and Flying Ryan. The Seams fan club in effect tonight. And Nick Seams already up in second. Flying Ryan already up to 10th, starting to make his way forward, and you said, Jared, he's going to be one to watch. The Mad Bear currently runs in fifth, up 3 spot. Oh, I'm sorry, Carl. I apologize. Matt Bear already up 3 spots into fifth place, starting to make his way forward. The guy was not confident about the race tonight, but already on the move, right behind Lautaro.
You know he'll always have the strategy going as well, so he's the one guy to watch as he starts to spread out, if there's any fuel saving in general. know if there is, how many laps are going, how short the track is, but you never really know with that.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, it's a little bit tricky to save fuel here at Lanier. You're off the throttle for a big portion of the turn, but you're back on it, and you're back on it hard, and it's going to be really tricky to save some fuel. The other driver really good at that, Jose Godino, sitting back in 6th place. He's lost a few spots here early, though.
He was a nice gap behind him. Albert in 7th is having a good run. Benefiting from these short fields, he's able to be going, as well as behind him, Cristiano Roca in 8th place with his good running well there in his 2nd race. So these guys are going well. They just need to keep getting confidence and keep going with this car and see how far they can get.
Roca definitely put on a show last week and looked like he was going to be a contender for the win the first half of the race. So, you know, he's, and my understanding is he is one of the #1 esports F1 drivers out of Portugal. So I think he's going to be one to watch the remainder of this season as he fights his way forward.
Yeah, I think as he learns this car and kind of figures out how the fenders work and everything, I think we'll be fine to see what he can do as the season goes along. I believe he's in the 33 the rest of the season.
I believe you're correct, as Sean Andrews now up 4 spots into 9th. Flying Ryan right on his back bumper, and Andrews already on the move, started tail end of the field tonight. Speaking tail end, Bill still hanging on to the back end of this field, and Jeremy Gilliatt still out front. Nick Seams just sitting there riding along for the moment. Not a lot of point in drafting here tonight, just because of the short track, but could be rolling the throttle, rolling the brake just a little bit to try and hold on to the fuel.
Looks like John Friley's gone the opposite direction. Started 5th, he's back to 12th, lap 43. So he's kind of dropping back a little bit.
Friley not having a great season, but the last few races has really kind of started to turn it around, and won the season opener dash race, and then a couple weeks ago at the All-Star race had his interview cut off by an angry Steven Rex after getting voted in, and had a career best in 9th place at North Wilkesboro just a few weeks ago. Friley may just be playing it safe. He knows he's in the money. Why push the issue here?
Really, realistically, there's no bad finish tonight, which, you know, from a driver's thought, you go, well, I finished 12th and 13th. From a points thought, you go, well, I still finished 12th with 20 scoring cars, so you're in good shape.
Definitely so. It's going to be a big points night for some of these guys out here. Guys like John Friley, Brent Mekas, Albie Hewins, who had slipped back to 14th in points after last week's race. A big opportunity here tonight. Currently running in 7th place, up 2 spots, and Albie's first half of this season was on fire. The middle part of this had a few rough races, but has really started to turn it around.
Yeah, he's always solid in everything I've seen. He's just solidly competitive in everything. He's close to that next step. Can he find the speed and the comfort to go up there and battle for top 5s consistently?
Lataro now up into 3rd, has gotten past Brent Mekas. Mekas back to 4th, the Mad Bear in 5th. Have to wonder if Brent's plan was just to get the early points and settle in here. He said he looked into the pole and just taking advantage of the bonus points and the track position right now. No reason to push the issue at this point.
I believe Brent was the only person in E3 last night, so he was by himself, so he just had to go up on the hot lap, the fastest lap, and take the pole.
And he got that job done very easily. Brent comes in tonight 9th in points as he has continued marching his way up, trying to close the gap in points on Jeremy Gilliatt and Kendrick Cryer. And I just noticed Kendrick, that 66 car, not here. So a few drivers inside the top 10, not in the field tonight. Their car's not here, more importantly. So there's going to be some points shakeups after tonight.
Well, absolutely. Like you said, with the short field, nobody here. Some internet problems with Joe, apparently. Who knows exactly what will happen with the points. It's hard to tell with some of these cars and how much they swap around. Yeah, it's unfortunate we have a short field first. What could have been an even more chaotic race.
Well, I will tell you, 2021, the night race here ended. It was probably 5 minutes after the race before we knew who won. There's a black flag on the restart, and it was the first ever XCAL green-white checkered finish. So you can imagine how crazy that race got that night. And, well, with the big field here, that would definitely happen. I think we're going to have a fairly clean night tonight, though.
Yeah, we always hope so, but as broadcasters, fans, we'll see some craziness too. So somebody make that one happen.
I'd imagine we'll see a few drivers before the night's out make some really gutsy moves out there. We usually do, but right now, Jeremy Gilliott just holds court on Nick Seams and Lataro. Matt Bear now up into 4th, past Brent Mekas, Jose Godino in 6th, Albie in 7th. Albie is closing in on that lead pack.
Yeah, I think Mekas might be holding these guys up a little bit. He got recently passed by Matt Bear, and that looks like Jose is going to start looking to make a pass here. I think that's why that's closing up. And it looks like these 3 cars are starting to get away from Matt a little bit. That being Jillian Seams and Lataro. We'll see if Matt can put them back in this going.
I think if Matt drifted it through 1 and 2. Well, there's your first craziness of the night. Looked like Matt got in a little too deep, a little too hard on the brakes, and he went around, or got sideways anyway, didn't go completely around. I'm really surprised not to see more drivers down on the apron here.
Yeah, it's already loose trying to get this thing to rotate as often as you are. You're on the right front bar, so I think it's more about just preservation at this point. I think eventually we'll see more aggressiveness. We're running lap 43 and 400, and there's really no reason to go crazy yet, as long as you're staying consistent and you're staying on the lead lap. And I think the 40 is fine. And eventually, I think a caution will come and help punch this thing back up. But for now, I think it's preservation more than speed.
And right now, we heard the drivers talking in pre-race. The track a little bit hot. 99 degrees is the track temperature. You've got 89 degree air temperature, but the sun is setting, and I think once it drops down, it'll cool off. The cars will get a little bit faster, and that will cause them to get a little bit loose. Despite getting more grip, they're going to get a little bit looser. And then that's when things will start getting a little dicey out there.
Yeah, the speeds should also pick up as the thing goes on and people start to push issues farther and get things going faster. So we'll see how much we have. It's really easy to get loose on entry. Exit, it was too slow to really get crazy on exit. Unless some of these guys do some big swings in the right rear. I think it's going to be on entry is where you're going to find the problems, I think, on the thing.
And flying Ryan Seams now up in the 9th place, sets his sights on Cristiano Roca. That could be an interesting battle as he gets right up there almost to the back bumper, and Albie Hewins having dropped back to 9th place. Surprised to see Albie going backwards, but I don't think I think he may have just given those positions up. I don't think he's really fighting it right now. He seems to be taking it pretty calm, and you mentioned a lot of guys just preserving here. That looks like what Albie's trying to do. Seeing a few close calls, everybody in the field before long, as we mentioned, will have some right side damage, but a lot of the cars, still about half the cars, look like they haven't touched the wall quite yet.
Something to look out for is we're now getting a pack here in this field, and led by Andrews, Olsen. There's now 4 cars now tightly contested for about 10th place. So I think
That Wild Bill's still right there. He has caught up to he was staying backed off for a while, but has got up there with John Friley, and I have to say, you got to wonder, Wild Bill, his real life racing is on a track about this size, so you got to wonder, has he learned anything that's going to benefit him here in the long run?
Yeah, we'll see if the dirt carries over with the asphalt. It's up a little bit on the racetrack, so you can put that car down a little bit. He's running okay in the back of this field. Looks like Wilson's going to be under Andrews.
Yeah, Andrews gets, I'm really surprised to see Andrews back that far. Usually we see Sean up fighting. Oh, he kisses the wall a little bit on the back straightaway, and it opens the door. Colson's through, Colson's through, Friley looking. Friley, is he going to be able to get the nose in if he opens the door? Wild Bill right there waiting for his shot.
Yeah, they're all looking at the pounds, and Andrews might have used his stuff up a little.
Oh!
He pushes around. Hits the inside wall hard. We see a caution here. Looks like he's going to spin it around. Looks okay. The front of that car is not looking okay. But it doesn't look like Eric. Because that happened right in front of him, so I guess he would have a better advantage point than even we did.
Well,
but, that's just short track racing. Just the small squeeze, and next thing you know, Andrews was going around.
yeah, and Andrews missing the front bumper of that car, left rear banged up pretty good for such a low speed. That was a pretty hard hit. But yeah, as you said, that's just short track racing, and man, these guys are going to do anything and everything they can to get a position and hold a position.
Yeah, it looks like he just got underneath Coulson, and instead of using the wall, he used Coulson as the wall and then just shoved it left down to the inside of the wall. He's going to get a stop.
Well,
he's in pits, a couple laps down on it.
Yeah, you even pitting under caution here, if you take too long of a pit stop, because of the way this pit road is, you come in at turn 3, then you have to drive all the way around the front straightaway through 1 and 2, and you pit on the back straightaway. So these guys are even under caution can lose a lap or two if anybody chooses to stay out. So it does make things a bit tricky planning your pit stops, and Sean is going to lose a lot of ground here trying to get that car fixed.
I believe we're still roughly 20 laps to 5 laps from pits. Our fuel expert at FKR is Jose, and I believe his number was 87. So we'll see. We'll see if they get the 87 in this first run. And I know they were expecting a caution or two, and they haven't got it. So we'll see if that number is correct. Mekas has fallen back to 7 because of that. So we'll see if that number's right and what the fuel strategy is like.
Well, before we get to that point, let's take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will go side by side. You will not miss a thing. Stay with us. right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Sean Andrews still sitting on pit road, but everybody else still rolling, and lap traffic has become an issue for the leaders as Jeremy Gilliott and the college kid pass Wild Bill Percy, the first car to go a lap down.
It looks like Cody's kind of pull late there. Nice to get out of the way and let him go. He knows these guys are racing for something bigger. So we'll see how lap traffic affects the outcome of this one. Olsen coming up on the leaders here now as well.
Yeah, things, this would be the one time that the leaders are worried. The drivers that are one lap down can still fight to try and maintain that lead lap. Colson doesn't look like he is going to put up a fight, but I guarantee you there's a few of these guys that are going to want to try and maintain that lead lap. And later in the race, once the leaders get into lap traffic that's battling, things are going to get really interesting, and that's when the aggression level goes up. And yeah, we talked about short track will be under the lights before too much longer, and tempers are going to flare.
Yeah, we'll see in the short field how much tempers can go. And Colson's the first to pit. He ducked off right after being lapped on lap 80, which makes sense. 80 mathematically, is kind of where you want to be. You do this thing on 4 stops with 80. So come down, go ahead, take it, and see if you can gain any spots with a little bit of undercut. And see, maybe you've been unlucky, maybe you've been lucky with cautions here. As he now takes 12th place and a couple laps down while pitting.
Yeah, while pit strategy is starting to formulate, Lautaro now up 3 spots into 3rd. Matt Bear has moved up 4 spots into 4th. Flying Ryan up 4 spots into 8th. Several drivers just starting to pick their way forward. Cristiano Roca up 1 spot now into 6th. He had drifted all the way back to 8th earlier on, 8th or 9th, but now starting to really make some moves forward and actually closing in on Jose Godino just ahead.
Yeah, he and Jose will race cordially, obviously being teammates and friends, so they'll be fine. Jose looked like he made it 85. He's pitting here.
That's a surprise to see Jose on pit road this early. Usually he's one of the guys stretching it out. We talked about that fuel strategy. I don't know how much there is to gain on a short track like this, going that extra lap or two, unless a caution comes out. But if the fuel strategy is going to be played, it'll be by Matt Bear. And I was going to say Ryan Seams. Flying Ryan on pit road now. Matt Bear now on pit road. So, yeah, never mind. Fuel strategy out the window.
Yeah, I don't think fuel strategy is going to mean much at this point. If they go green for all 400, which at this point looks like a likely possibility, it's literally just going to be go 80 laps pit, go 80 laps pit 4 times. And then everybody's good from there. It's really no strategy at this point, just making sure you don't screw up on pit road. As Matt actually got the inside wall entering pit road a little bit, which is easy to do and not much about. The leader, Jillian, is now in as the car of the lead. No.
Nick's college kid is out front. And fuel strategy will come into play next week as XCAL goes to USA International Speedway. That was going to be an exciting one. We have seen some of the best XCAL finishes there, including 2 cars coming across the line side by side with the one on the outside trying to drive on the wall. It was really rather entertaining. So you definitely want to tune in. Make sure you hit the like, follow, share, all those buttons. Don't miss a single moment as Nick Seams, after leading a couple laps, has come in. Brent Mekas is still out. Most of the field now either on pit road or has completed pit stops, as it looks like Mekas will go back to the lead here.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's far behind pitting. Maybe he slowed down a bit to save some fuel and see what he can do. Without going 100, you can't really do anything with strategy unless you can go 100, right? I have my suspect as to whether anybody can go 100 on any stint. I'm not sure you can unless you're clutching, really going slow.
Well, we've seen Austin Edwards and Matt Bear pull off some miracles here. Brent Mekas looked really slow in 1 and 2 that time, and he is coming in. Could he be out of fuel? Let's dial up his cockpit camera. No, he is still under power hitting pit road, but man, he looked really slow coming out of turn 2. I thought he'd ran out of fuel for a moment.
Yeah, he did. A lot of these cars are taking short fuels. They don't have a whole lot in the tank, so pitting didn't take as long as it normally does. It looks like Jose is going to gain a bunch of spots with something he did here. And we'll see. I'm curious to see where he shakes out of this thing.
Same with Nick Seams, who's now being scored back in 5th. Of course, with cars still on pit road, things are going to change as Matt Bear is now being scored in 2nd and maybe taking the lead here in a minute. And Wild Bill right behind the leader, trying to get himself back to get one of his laps back, get back to the lead lap as Mekas is down. And he may be away here in a moment, but Matt Bear has taken the lead for the first time tonight, and he gets his 5 bonus points here. He just continues to walk away with this title.
Yeah, I want to make a note. I'm not sure what happened, and I'll reach out to Gerald here. But Aro has left the session. He has now scored 6 laps down after caution said he's not in session anymore. We don't know exactly what happened there.
That is definitely an interesting situation. So moving everybody up a position or 2, and that's going to help some of those drivers that went down a lap, went a lap down here early. It'll be interesting to see if there's any more problems, and as the field tightens back up over these runs, it'll be very interesting to see what happens with the strategy now that some of these faster cars are starting to drop away.
Jose and Cristiano both gained a couple spots. Jose's the big winner going up to 2nd place in pits. I don't know exactly what he did with the strategy, but I have an idea. We'll see if we can catch on to what he did. But Matt Bear apparently knows the exact same thing. He's obviously one of the strategy guys, so he knows what's happening. But a few of these teams need to figure something out before they start to go even more laps down and run the race out without even doing it.
Well, we have an interesting new camera in the infield tonight, the crane cam overlooking the entire track and can follow the field around as Colson and Godino are door to door, and that's not a race for position. Godino's in 2nd, Colson's in 7th, but Colson trying to maintain a position to get himself back out on the lead lap. Nick Seams now in 3rd, Jeremy Gillian 4th, Cristiano Roca in 5th. Flying Ryan now up to 6th. He pulled some strategy out of the hat here as well and picked up several spots, but the Mad Bear out front, 5.5 seconds, and I have to wonder, is time on pit road no different than anybody else? Is pit stop time about the same as about average? How the heck did he do that?
I guess it's just when he pitted and what happened. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest with you. It may just be when he pitted and what he was able to do. I don't know, maybe he was faster on the in and out lap. It's a good question, but if there's some way they can pull off a strategy and do something in pit road, it seems to be Matt Bear. We know Edwards was good at it, so maybe that's where we're looking to find that.
Well, we will have to watch him closely on his next pit stop because the average time on pit road ran around 124. Matt Bear was on pit road 117.22, but
he's also pitting again. No, he's not.
No, he is not pitting. But his pit stop time was barely a second off of everybody else. In fact, Cristiano Roca's pit stop time was just about 0.6 of a second slower than Matt Bear's. He didn't take any less fuel, it looks like. So I'm wondering, this will be an interesting post-race interview for sure to figure out what he did on this first pit stop.
Did he not take the tires? Would that save fuel in this instance?
As much fall off as we're seeing on the tires, I have to think. You know, we were seeing about 1 to 1.5 seconds fall off on the tires. I think he took 4 freshies based on his lap times.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know. Matt Bear has obviously found some kind of miracle out there.
Looks like Nick Seams is going under Jose for second here. Jose's probably going to give that up. He knows that that's not necessarily his race at this current moment. I think strategy is going to be the name of the game for Jose. Seams, I think, his overall speed. See if Seams can run down the Mad Bear. This Mechas now we're going to get a lap back. He's working on it big.
Yeah, and that'll be the other big thing is Matt Bear's going to hit this lap traffic before anybody else. So he will have to negotiate that, and that'll give the other drivers behind some time to catch up. But man, I have to think there's just not so much that much lap traffic, and the pace really for some of these guys further behind is not that far off what the leaders are running. I don't think we're going to see as Albie Hewins and Bill Percy battle for 9th place. Albie comes by and clears him now into 9th place. I don't think we're going to see as much lap traffic as we would normally expect here.
Well, at this point, lap traffic is just traffic because it's just a small circle. So at this point, any car you catch could be a lap down. It could be a position. It's all chaos trying to figure out. Okay, where am I at? What am I doing? Who am I racing? Probably good to see if some of these guys have spotters and go, hey, that's my position. Hey, this is lap. Hey, he's 5 laps down. He's 2 laps down. Hey, he's a lap ahead of you. And figure out how to get through this. I'm waiting on the report on Taro, my insider. Certainly not the owner of Flaming Car at all. Certainly not him. It's not Gerald.
No, definitely not. I was surprised with Gerald's, with Richie not being here. I was surprised to see Gerald not in the car tonight.
Yeah, we had a discussion about what he was going to do to jump in that car. Richie unfortunately had some problems with his mother-in-law, some health issues. And, I'll let him divulge that eventually. There was some health concern there. So we're all thinking of what's going on with that situation. And obviously, the real world takes precedent in those types of situations. We reach out and hope for the best for the situation that's happening with me or with the ladies who want to be.
Well, best wishes to Richie. Richie did get that big win at Atlanta the other night, and man, what a great win. He was flying high on that one and looking forward to, I know he was looking forward to being here tonight, but best wishes to Richie and his family. Jeremy Gilliott in 3rd. This is a bit interesting. Nick Seams in 2nd place. Flying Ryan is in 6th place, right behind Nick. Ryan a lap down. And Brent Mechas right behind Ryan in 7th. And this is one of those few times where having somebody you know you can work with close by could come in handy. You know, as Jeremy Gilliott's right there behind Ryan, but Ryan not going to do anything to hold him up for the time being. But later in the race, those two can communicate and, you know, maybe do a little slowing the other driver down for him.
You know, a situation there where Ryan was kind of aware of what happened. Mechas just pitted. He's the most recent car back on track, to my knowledge. He went the longest, so he's got to have the best tires. So you wonder if Seams knew that and said, well, you know, I'll try to save my tires and get back to him at a later stint. But for now, he's going to be fighting this 7. Let's try to get up to Seams for 2nd.
Well, another interesting note as far as the freshness of tires, 1 lap before Brent Mechas. The car that pitted, Albie Hewins, and Albie is currently quickly reeling in Derek Colson in 8th place since he cleared Wild Bill. Albie is starting to charge, and this could be a very good night for Albie. He is really on the move.
Yeah, he's always quick, and he's find a rhythm, get there, and see if he can make some spots up. He's going to have to do a little on pit road as well, make sure for himself. The report I have from Taro is he hit the pit wall entrance and I guess did some damage. So I guess it was enough that we didn't be here anymore. Sean's still in pit road, so he's pretty much taking all the place, and Sean gets out and starts to run.
Well, at least, Lataro's at least coming away with a few points tonight and a little bit of money, so hopefully that works out, at least from that aspect, and obviously a bit of a hit to his team, but we'll see him back at it next week. And meanwhile, we will take another quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, but we're going side by side, so you will not. All right, folks, welcome back. Don't forget to tune in next week when we'll be back at USA International Raceway. A fun race for these guys, and a lot of the drivers look forward to it. I have to wonder, Jared, are you going to be back in the car next week?
I don't think I'm running Lakeland, not necessarily a favorite track. I got a couple of weeks off, I think, of XCAL. South Boston's a possibility the week after. Testing determine that.
Who do we think will fill that seat at Flaming Karma next week?
I as far as I know, it was Gerald. I think I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I believe Cristiano will be 33 the rest of the year to give him that spot. And I think 40 would be Gerald if I don't.
You have to, with that 33 being run by Cristiano, and obviously Cristiano doing very well tonight, up to 5th place, you have to wonder, Gerald's really put an amazing team together the second half of the season. I mean, these guys are really starting to move up in the team points. They're trying to close that gap on the JNS Flying Aces.
Yeah, we got some setups that are coming through with us that we're working with today, and getting some setups from different places and working with the house stuff, and working with what we have, and that's I worked with him this week trying to mess with setups, and Gerald was messing with his car a little bit, and overall we found speed. Whether it's enough speed to catch up to the aces and try to make a run at the championship, we'll see. That's the unfortunate part about what happened with Taro is that I think they were banking on those points there today. But we'll see what happens. It's a long season. We've got a long way to go. So FKR's coming on strong. They've really made a nice gap, really coming from 6 or 7 points to second.
Oh yeah. And they'll continue closing that gap. And by the way, at least once a week, I say call JNS Racing Aces JNS Flying Aces. So I'm just going to tell Danny, go ahead and change the name. It'd be a lot easier on me. Because otherwise I'm going to get it wrong. I mean, I don't know how I get that wrong every week, but I do. Nick seems
it right. No,
I'm getting it right. Danny named it wrong. That's what it was. Nick Seams is starting to reel in the Mad Bear little by little. The gap now down to 4.6 seconds. Jeremy Gillian has caught up. He has worked his way past all those lap cars and now on Seams' back bumper. Have to wonder if the college kid was conserving a little bit, trying to stretch the run. Now that Gillian is here, he has got to pick up the pace a little bit.
I'm wondering if that's the same thing with Matt Bear. He got such a big lead, he realized strategy was working. So if I have something they don't have in pit road, whatever that is, we still haven't found. And now you can save some fuel on the back half of that. Should Matt Bear ultimately playing a longer game, and he's playing chess while everybody else is still maybe not playing chess. I don't want to say checkers yet. There's still a chance, but he's found something that we haven't quite solved yet.
Matt Bear could be playing Calto while everybody else is playing chess.
With one hand.
Oh, yeah. Because I do know that arm has started to recover, but I imagine it's still a bit unpleasant to drive with and he's shifting and everything else. We've seen a couple of drivers come out here and race one-armed, one-legged and whatnot, but it is never fun or easy. And Derek Colson is back on pit road. This seems a bit early. No, this is right about on time.
80-160. I think he has a strategy and is going to play it out. If I were to guess, I have no pit stop whisperer, but I'm going to guess that we're going to see him on pit road on lap 240.
That's probably a pretty safe guess. Right now, let's take a quick look from the XCAL web shop blip. Go to xcalracing.com/shop for all your XCAL gear needs, including your Flying Ryan seams and soon to be some Nick seams. Already got the busting at the seams. Your JNS Racing Aces gear and a whole lot more is on there. Go check it out, xcalracing.com/shop. And good evening to Richie Joplin. Matt Bear is in. Jose Gadino is now in. And Nick Seams goes back to the lead. Jeremy Gilliatt now into second. Cristiano Roca in fourth, should move up to third. Seeing pit strategy being a much bigger deal tonight than what we expected.
Yeah, curious to see what happens with Matt Bear as he's in pit road and with Gilliatt and Seams staying out. Gaudino in pit road. Exactly how all this is going to play. Mekis ran long the first time, so it's interesting to see the over versus under and who has the right strategy as Colson is back on track already.
Looks like Colson is back out. Looks like about the average, actually about 6 seconds faster than what we've seen for average pit stops. Did Jose Gadino get the wall coming off pit road? I thought he might have grabbed the tires. We'll try and take a look at the left side. Does not look like the car is hurt, but man, he was down there close, and it did look like it kind of bounced.
It's such a small pit road, such a short track. It's always possible. Hopefully he wasn't going fast enough. If he did get it, then he's going to be okay with it.
This is definitely a difficult track to get on pit road. that is one advantage of the smaller field tonight, is getting on and off pit road, because in years past when we've seen a 30, 40 car field here, getting onto pit road has caused crashes, getting off pit road has caused some cautions, so these guys have a much safer pit road entry and exit, and pit stops have been pretty clean so far.
I suspect some team play going on here. I believe the 30 and 40 or 33 and 40 are staying out longer intentionally. My guess is they wanted a driver to take the under and then 2 drivers to take the over, and to see if they can benefit no matter what happens. Soroka almost spins getting on pit road. Bill right behind him.
Nick Seams still staying out. Jeremy Gilliott still staying out, as Jose Godino's coming around both of them on for. Oh! Jose, hold on! Wow, that got close for Jose. That car was way out of shape.
Well, Jose needs to make up time. He has Matt catching him. Matt, we believe, in fact, I know, will cycle back to the league. Unless some sport shenanigans happen, he needs to get away from Matt in order to stay just one lap behind him and have a shot at something. Matt is seemingly running away.
Flying Ryan is on pit road. Nick Seams, Jeremy Gilliott still out. Nick pitted lap 92, and Jeremy is in pit road. He last pitted lap 89, so just about right for those two. Should see the college kid in here in a few laps, and I'm wondering if Nick stretching this fuel is going to benefit long term. We've seen fuel strategy both benefit and bite drivers this season. It all comes down to a little bit of luck.
And the same thing with Mekas in 44. You remember he went the longest of, I believe, anybody on the first stint, and he's still out running.
Yeah.
And Albert's still out running as well, so we'll see what the plan is for these guys going forward.
Mecca stopped lap 95, Albie on lap 94, so these guys still a few more laps to go here, and wouldn't that be something if Albie could make the fuel mileage work tonight? I would just go crazy if he got to victory lane tonight. That would be awesome. It is a bit overdue. He has really turned it around this season and been coming all season long.
Be a popular move for sure. But I'm sure the league will be happy about that one. We got a long way to go yet. We're not even halfway, so we'll see how things turn out.
The college kid gives up the lead. He is coming in. Now it's just Mekas and Hewins that have not been to pit road yet. And we'll see. This Mekas is into heavy lap traffic with Albie, who is the next car back right in front of him. Mekas is actually about to lap Albie.
Well, at this point, Mekas and Albert are looking for a caution. They're saying, look, somebody do something stupid right now. Because if that happens, we can put how many cars a lap behind us. Sure, they can get the wave, they can get a lucky dog, whatever. But they would still have to work something out to get back by me. So at this point, Mekas, I think, is playing a long game. He's hoping that strategy doesn't play off, where I can run 15 laps further than these guys. If caution comes out within those 15 laps, I'm in it. I don't think he can go to half distance and make this thing a one-lap stop, but it's still a good strategy to try to go this thing longer and keep with this in case you get lucky.
With 2 cars out of the race, though, it is kind of a bold strategy. Who knows? It's still less than halfway, just less than halfway. Still a long way to go. But man, yeah, if any more cars come out of this too, things are really going to get exciting out there. As guys are going to smell blood in the water and try and do everything they can to make up ground.
Well, absolutely. At some point, you've got to start pushing and try to do something a little bit different. Because as it currently stands, Matt Bear is now a lap ahead of Jose, Jeremy, and Nick. So something's got to give eventually, and you've got to take something to get it back. So we'll see how the strategy plays out with a long way to go. If Matt continues to take away, or if we get that caution and put everything back in.
You know, Matt said in pre-race, you know, it was obvious he was not very confident tonight. He did not expect to win this race. He was looking for a podium, maybe a top 5, but I think he may have been full of crap. That's just a hunch. Meckus is in
hit
trouble.
road while leading. Albie was below, and there might be a problem.
Let's see what happened here. Meckus had Flying Ryan underneath. Oh, Meckus had to slow up trying to get to pit road. Albie's trying to get to pit road. Meckus, he tried to stop, just couldn't get it to go. So, yeah, Albie makes it, Meckus doesn't.
That might, that little moment right there could cost Meckus any shot. Because you're having to now go out an extra lap. You were almost stopped on the racetrack. So, I mean, 20 seconds a lap, that right there could have cost Meckus any shot at this race.
And Matt Baer just went back to the lead. Brent still scored in second, but as they turn laps, Jose Godino will move up, then Jeremy Gilliott, Nick Seams, Cristiano Roca may move up into 5th. Time will tell. Albie already on his way off of pit road. Wild Bill currently running in 10th. John Friley back to 11th now. Friley looked like he had a fast car fairly early on, but I don't know. He seems to be struggling tonight. Good evening, Kevin. How are you? Albie coming up to speed right in front of the leader, and Matt Baer has heavy lap traffic ahead.
Well, he has heavy lap traffic, but he also has heavy triangle lap traffic. He's going to have Nick Seams here in a few cars. Gilliott ahead of that, Godino ahead of that. So he's caught the back half of the lead lap as well. That's where the problems are going to come in. Those guys are not going to want to go a lap down and have a shot at this thing. We know Gilliott and Seams seem to have the overall speed. So it's going to be a lot of work for Baer here to catch and then pass those guys to get the lap down.
And I have noticed Matt is grabbing that outside wall in the back straightaway a lot. Not doing a lot of damage to the car, but he is pushing it right to the edge of the track, trying to get everything, and he got it there too. But some of these other guys keeping off the wall, and I know there's a few drivers that swear by just tapping that wall on the back straightaway to pick up some momentum, or to help them rotate into the turn even.
Anytime I try to hit the ball too hard, I'll spot the next corner, so I won't comment on trying that one. It didn't work.
Hey, Kevin said you sound really old right now, by the way.
I don't think I'm that old.
No, I don't think you are either. I have kids older than you.
What does that say about you?
Nothing. Let's stop right there. Just past the halfway point, it is time for the full field rundown. And tonight, Matt Baer out front has led the most laps so far in his continuing march toward a title. Jeremy Gilliott currently running in second place, having a great run tonight after a couple weeks off. Came back last week, Gilliott did, and has done an amazing job in the last 2 races. Nick Seams currently in third, the college kid on a tear. Don't count the college kid out of this race yet. Jose Godino currently running in fourth, right behind the leader, just lost his lap here. Cristiano Roca currently running in 5th place in that Flaming Karma car. Just hopping in the car last week, has done a great job out here for Gerald Poole. Hey, good evening, Mike Marshall. How are you, buddy? Flying Ryan Seams up to 6th place. Derek Colson currently running in 7th place. Albie in 8th. One of Albie's best runs of the season. Wild Bill Percy in his XCAL debut currently sits in 9th. And Brent Meckes, despite starting on the pole, runs in 10th, is struggling here mid-race. John Friley, the last car on track, in 11th. Looked fast early, not so, looks like a car may be going away from him as the sun goes down. Latarl and Lamperti out of the race. Sean Andrews still on pit road, but well over 100 laps down if he comes back out tonight.
Well, while we're going to the field, looks like back up by Jose to put him a lap down. So they're looking for a caution there to solid. I mean, 4th place, still a lap down. He just needs to continue what he's doing, have a shot at something. As Bear tries to run down Gillian and Seams, who are now battling for 2nd place.
Yeah, and the you know he's going to love getting some new gear in the XCAL web shop if he gets the win tonight. Another amazing run by Matt Bear, and his team owner Austin Edwards has the all-time win record. You can still get some of his gear in the XCAL Racing web shop, xcalracing.com. Also, while you're on xcalracing.com, don't forget to check out Sim Racer Hub. Find all your individual driver statistics on xcalracing.com, powered by Sim Racer Hub. And if you're interested in getting started in XCAL but don't want to do a full-length race like this one, you can join the XCAL Dash Series on Monday nights. Go out, have a little fun, learn a little bit about XCAL, maybe win a little bit of money.
That Dash was a lot of fun. A lot of good races there, from what I understand. Meckes won that, I believe, last week he won that.
I think Meckes is actually dominating the... I'd have to look at the stats, but I know Meckes has a few wins this season in the Dash Series.
Yeah, I don't know the numbers, but I know he's done quite well in his Dash races.
He won the Dash race at Nashville. Also got his first career top 5 in the big race here or at Rockingham a few weeks ago. Nick Seams currently in 2nd, watching behind, as is Jeremy Gilliatt, as the Mad Bear is closing the gap on the last 2 cars on the lead lap. Now, we've seen the entire field get lapped before. However, late in that race at Southern National, a series of cautions turned that race upside down, and the race ended with 12 cars on the lead lap and almost photo finish. So it ain't over till it's over, folks.
Yeah, we know that cautions breed cautions. So if we did have one, now that we're running past halfway, get some laps back and see what happens and change this thing up. But for now, it's just running the fuel strategy and making sure you're getting the lap times down. Matt Bear obviously hasn't figured out. It seems that Gilliatt need to find it, or else Matt Bear might run away even further.
While that is true, the last 2 or 3 laps, Nick Seams has suddenly found another gear, because he is actually closing the gap on the Mad Bear. He's about 11.7 seconds back at the moment, but he is closing in, and that could come into play. A lot of racing left to go here. And as the sun goes down, these guys have to adjust for the cooler track temperatures. They got to adjust for the cooler air temperature, change the handling on the car, and it looks like Nick Seams was set up for a long run in the dark, because he is starting to make up ground, and I mean quickly.
Yeah, you got to wonder how many of these guys set up booster tight to expect something to change later, or if they're just making adjustments with tire pressures and saying, well, if I can't do it with fuel strategy, let's go for speed here, go for growth. I don't know if any type of changes were made on the 000 car, but he's certainly faster, but it's such a small gap. It's too small of a track to be, that much faster. Just to chip away speed, and hopefully you can find something.
Well, it does look like track temperatures only come down a couple of degrees. Air temperatures only come down 1 degree, but it is showing the pattern. The track is cooling off, and once the sun is completely down, on the horizon. I think that's when we're going to start to see this track really cool back off, and guys are really going to go for it.
Yeah, it's certainly a warm one as we are in Richmond, Georgia. So summer, hot, slick. We'll see how that plays out. If it continues to gain grip as we go later, or you put rubber down with all the heat and everything, if it gets even slicker, can Matt Baer hold on to everything and make sure that he has the handling under him? We talked about hitting the wall a little bit. You still have to be careful. You can't ever get complacent and just say, well, I'm running away, I'm good. You start to do that, and the next thing you know, you're not good anymore.
You've run these races, once you're out there for a long time, it is very easy to settle into the rhythm and then just kind of zone out for a few seconds, and that few seconds is all it takes for something to go wrong out here.
That's right. It's such a small track. You go around, okay, is this turn 1 or turn 2? And you get yourself kind of reconfigured, and you miss a braking point. And next thing you know, it all goes to heck. It's easy to do. People don't realize how sometimes this can be, almost numbing. You start to go around in circles so much, it gets kind of dizzying. So we'll see. Make sure the concentration's going. Make sure the ADD blocker's in there. And keep going as best you can. Nick seems, just dealing with lap traffic still. The teammate ahead of him with Albie. You got to get that gear and run that car down.
I have to wonder, just a thought here. I have not ran these cars at Oxford. I've ran some other cars at Oxford, and I have to say, it's tricky if you do 20, 30, 40, 50 laps there. These guys have run hundreds of laps at Oxford. I'm looking through the schedule because I know it's usually on there. Oxford will be 400 laps on August 29th. Can you imagine how as dizzying as a place like Lanier gets?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oxford would be. I have actually heard drivers that won't run Oxford because they do get motion sickness in real life, and Oxford there's not enough.
Yeah. I don't know if that's one that I really want to get into there. That's fun for sure.
No,
so fun races coming up, a lot of short tracks, the fun part of the schedule here. With the USA and Soho. I know Matt Baer talking about Watkins Glen. I'll be in that one in the 40, and it's a lot of fun races in Michigan. So hopefully we can entice people to get out here and get a bigger count for some of these races. I think will be a lot of fun.
There is the rumor that by the end of the season there will be a bigger number of Seamses on track. That's going to get interesting. My understanding is there's at least I believe 5 total Seamses we could see either before the end of this season or by next year. That would be awesome, and if they have their whole team next year, that'd be really impressive. And they already have the team name, and the hats are already made too, so you can get your busting at the seams hat as our leader is in. Colson was the first one to pit about 2 laps ago, but here comes the Mad Bear, and now this is where these other drivers have been stretching fuel. We're past the halfway point. They've got to make something happen here.
Yeah, you have to figure Matt Baer. Yeah, he came down pit road here a little bit earlier. I think I expected him to come down. We'll see once again how does strategy play out in these days on pit road. Like I said before, if caution comes out now, this could ruin a race. It can make a race with just one turn of the car. I'm not, wishing for that on anybody, but hey, it can happen. A short track, we saw it happen earlier with Sean. Any moment you find the wrong car at the wrong time, then the right or the wrong thing goes your way.
The other thing we haven't talked about is it is because of the length of this pit road. It is so easy to just accidentally speed by just a couple of miles an hour. But if you do it at just the wrong spot, you're sitting on pit road for an extra 45 seconds, and your race is done. That 45 seconds is 3 laps lost.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt came back on track. Looks like no problem breaking without feelings there. No problem there. Looks like, once again, the same guys. Julian Seams, Roca, Ryan Seams, for all the guys that stayed out. Albie's still on track. He's even a lap behind back there. Jose already made his pit stop a lap behind back there. Bill Percy's still out. Beckus, of course, still out.
You know what I find interesting is we've seen this before. Flying Ryan losing ground when he's stretching the fuel. Now he comes to pit road, but yeah, Flying Ryan, we've seen him stretch that fuel and lose that ground, but then suddenly at the end of the race, he has found a ton of speed, and it looks like we may actually get to talk to one of the car owners. Jared, it looks like Gerald is available, so I'm going to pull him down and let you talk to him. Hey,
Gerald, having a good race so far. A couple of your guys running in the top 5 consistently. How's it look for FKR today?
I mean, we're looking really strong. I mean, I even think with some of the fuel strategy going on, we could see the 40 pop up there a couple, 3 spots before the end of all this. It's unfortunately Lataro kind of clobbered the pit wall when he was entering on that first pit stop, and kind of ended his night. But yeah, I mean, we're picking up well, running well. I think the weather's working out in our direction, and just kind of happy to be in this web shop series, and yeah, looking forward to see how this works out before we get to the end.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know what your scouting department has, if you have one, but you have the international flavor coming. You have the 3 international guys in this series, in this race today, and it's really working out for you. Roca's showing good speed there. He's running 3rd place currently with some strategy. How do you find some of these guys? Where did you find some of these guys to kind of highlight the international flair that we have going on in XCAL now?
Well, I mean, I've raced actually with Jose going back to my Tyler Daniels racing days, and then raced with him the last couple seasons. Like I said, when I got into this season, I was just going to pick up a car for myself to run some part-time races, and then ended up with the opportunity to have Jose. And at the time Mason, we started off slow, but as the season's gone on, Octavio got back into XCAL racing, and then I was able to, that's where Lataro, from Argentina, then also Manuel Scully from Argentina, and then of course Jose's from Portugal, and then he introduced us to Chris Rock. Cristiano Roca, it's just kind of working out in my favor. And, hey, I love it. Great racers. So, just get after it here the last dozen races or so in the season.
Yeah, it's great to see these guys come out and run so well and have success here in XCAL, and obviously wishing the best the rest of the way. Nice talking to you. If you want to come back and give us a review, let us know. We're trying to find something to go with here, and hopefully FKR can pick up more spots.
Yeah, just like I said, keep an eye out, because I think this thing's really going to come down to how much time you're actually going to spend getting fuel on that last pit stop. So I think we got a couple strategies going on, and we'll see how they work out.
Hey, thanks, Gerald.
Gerald Thanos Poole, and it's surprising Gerald has not snapped away all the other teams yet, but hey, here we are.
We want a challenge, right? Just want to make this thing easy.
Well, then he could just snap away half the teams. That would be more appropriate for Thanos. When I first met Gerald back in 2020, I do not remember how the nickname came about. He and I have actually been talking about that here recently, but he drove a Radical SR8 that had infinity gauntlet on it with all the stones in it, and it was on the nose of the car. It was just really cool. It was a really nice touch, and the league he ran with at the time, they actually did a series of races around that where they were all superheroes, and it was just it's one of the coolest things I broadcasted over the years, and it was really funny, and it was so exciting. My kids were all watching it. It was that cool.
Like I said, he got the international flavor with the 33, the 20, the 43. He has a nose for finding talent, an knack for finding talent. He's found a lot of good drivers. And sometimes being in the chat room and there talking to those guys, you need a translator sometimes for what's going on. But it's still a really cool thing to get those international guys in here talking about Portugal and things, and it seems to be an expand worldwide rather than just in the U.S.
There is a guy in the chat cheering on Wild Bill. Name is Mark Dantuma. Mark Dantuma cheering on Wild Bill. Couldn't help myself on that one. Wild Bill currently on pit road in 11th, but he's been picking them up. He's picked up a couple of spots on track. Has been as high as 7th place during pit stops, but he's raced his way up to 9th, and I don't think Wild Bill is getting away with less than a top 10 tonight. I think he's got a top 10 pretty much in the bag with some of the other drivers struggling.
Yeah, he's got to be happy with that to come out here tonight, gain some confidence. He's certainly there. He's certainly figured something out. He's found some speed. He's just staying with it. He's just staying consistent, and that's, I think, ultimately what he was looking for tonight. It's good to see him out here.
Matt Bear has everybody has completed pit stops here except for the college kid who is coming in right now. The college kid really stretching at that time. That was an impressive run. No, I stand corrected. Albie has not been to pit road yet either. Expect him in before too much longer. I have to wonder, the Seams is really good at stretching the fuel mileage. I'm wondering if they both have the same crew chief putting in extra long lines of for fuel. But man, great run by both Seamses tonight. I expect top fives out of both of them.
Do you expect to see him behind the pit box as well, or is this like a cousin Seams?
I do not remember. There's the uncle, the dad. Jason will have to tell me the whole family tree in the comments because I do not remember.
We might need a whole graphic of seeing family tree to figure out what's going on with XCAL racing.
I will say this, Jason, if any of the Seams family wants to send a Seams family graphic to me, I would happily share that on Facebook. Because that would be cool, and especially as we get more of them in.
Get that to be an XCAL shirt flying at the Seams family tree.
That would be cool, and honestly, that would be great when we see Nick Seams back in Victory Lane or Flying Ryan. That would actually be a great shirt to have. And it looks like, as pit stops complete here, it does look like Matt Bear has officially lapped the field.
Yeah, he does one lap early on everybody. Julian now behind him trying to get his lap back. Albie is now pitting, so he'll go multiple laps down here. Jose behind Matt and Nick Seams, who's now back on the speedway, trying to get his lap back. Roca there, we're talking about him running 5th place, and he'll come back to 5th place with some passes Albert. So a few guys having some great runs today with Jose and Cristiano.
Definitely.
Once again, just the same thing we talked about all year. It's Matt Bear. He got in that 18 car. He got that ride after a couple things happened with Austin, and he's just taken off since he's got it.
He definitely has. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with you in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We're going to go side by side. All right, folks, we are back. Matt Bear still in the lead, but Jeremy Gilliott has just managed to unlap himself on fresher tires and is trying to get clear, and Nick Seams is closing in on the leader to hopefully unlap himself as well. And we talked about it earlier. The first half of the race, the Seamses tend to be a little more conservative, but that second half, they come alive, and they come alive quickly.
Yeah, we know Seams has been, I think, the fastest car tonight. I think the strategy is where they kind of let themselves go. And Brian, of course, running in 6th place. He's working on some lap cars and non-lap cars, trying to figure out who's who, what's what. But, he's having a great race as well in 6th place. Olsen in 7th place, having a good run. At the early incident, Andrews, but other than that, he's been safe. He's 3 laps down. He's hit every 80 laps. There's just Colson just hanging around there mid-pack. And mid-pack is a great finish today, so it's a great run for him as well.
Yeah, and I know Colson really wanted redemption after Atlanta last week. He was involved in that big incident that took out a lot of the field early on, so he was looking for redemption. He told me he has watched that replay 100 times and still cannot figure out a way he could have avoided that incident. I know he feels all sorts of guilty about it, but hopefully, he gets that good finish, gets some redemption here tonight, because he deserves it. He's been really improving this season as well. And hey, I did get an update on the Seams family tree. So Jason in the comments is Nick's dad, Ryan's brother. So Jason is Ryan's uncle, and Ryan also has 4 other brothers, including Steven. And that's also the grandfather's name is Steven.
So then the question to Jason is, why is there not an entire family of Seams racing? Where are they at? What are we doing?
Why are they
have
not?
a great opportunity.
With that many Seamses on track, they could pull the EHP trick at Michigan later this season and just run 4 wide at the front of the field 2 deep and protect the field and just dominate.
Would you say that's like a seam across the track? Is that what that would be?
That would be just one big seam across the track that nobody could get past.
Currently, the only thing not getting past is Matt Bear. He just sits up there, just passing everybody for 400 laps.
Wild Bill right behind him, trying to make up some ground. Bill lost a couple laps on pit road. Looks like Bill may have got a speeding penalty. He's obviously got the pace with the leader. A little bit fresher tires, but man, that's a bit of a heartbreak because Bill's looking at a top 10 run. Currently sits in 11th place and 56 seconds, so about almost 4 laps behind Friley. He's going to need a miracle to get that top 10 back, but still 95 laps to go. Not out of this yet.
Well, he's getting a crash course on how to drive behind that Bear here. When you want to learn from somebody, I think the best thing you can do is follow a guy like Matt or follow somebody around and go, okay, that's how he's doing it. This is his breaking point. And you can hear it, you can see it, and he's obviously staying with him. So he's learning something, he's picking something up here. So it's good to see that. I know he'll be disappointed in himself, but ultimately he needs to be happy. It's going to be a good finish, and hopefully maybe we'll see him again. We'll see what happens.
Taking a quick look from the nose cam on Jose Godino as Flying Ryan just ahead, trying to get around Jeremy Gilliott there, not a battle for position, but Ryan, as we mentioned, has really cranked it up a lot the last few, since his last pit stop, and starting to make his way forward pretty darn well here. And I don't think Gilliott's going to be able to hold him back much longer. But if I'm Gilliott, I'm going to try, because it's obvious Ryan has got speed.
Yeah, well, Ryan can help Nick, by slowing down Jeremy. So you kind of wonder if Ryan has a little bit of a plan here to get up there and try to slow down Jeremy a little bit. As Jeremy got a couple nice runs there, got a little bit away from him. But even though they're not positioned, stuff like that, you can still help a teammate by making a pass or two and finding some speed.
That is definitely the case. Matt Bear closing in to put Brent Mekas another lap down. And Mekas right there with Colson. Colson's still running in 7th. As we mentioned, having a great night. Albie in 8th. And we mentioned he dropped, lost a position in the points last week. But expect Albie to move up a lot in the points after tonight's race. Taking a quick look. Albie dropped to 14th in points, but Jeff Edgar not being here, he will easily reclaim 13th. Stephen Rex not here. There's a few positions up here that Albie stands to gain tonight. So I think huge night for JNS. Although with Joe Campbell not being here tonight, that hurts.
Joe's not here. The 131 was provisionally entered without a driver. They didn't have any way to drive it this week. So ultimately, they have a couple cars having finishes, but then not having a couple cars in the race hurts as well.
Derek Colson back on pit road and getting word as it stands right now. Nick Seams on that final stop will only need 1 can of fuel. So he is going to really have a quick stop. I would expect right sides, 1 can, and Nick Seams may have everybody licked here.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was kind of wondering was, as this thing got later, how much fuel did people have to take to make the end of the race? And we'll see if Jose, Matt, some of these guys have that covered. If Nick comes away with a win, and Jeremy, I think he's a couple laps down, but Becca's gone long. Maybe he can gain some spots and see how long he's been going.
Well, Jose on pit road, and this should be final stops for everybody underway now. Waiting for Matt Bear to come in and see how strategy plays out. Nick Seams stayed out 30 laps longer than Matt Bear last time. We should see Matt in the next 2 laps, but Nick will be able to stretch it to about 355-ish, maybe even further. Nick may have just outsmarted everybody, and we've seen him do it a couple times this season, and he's only part-time while he's home for summer from college. Matt Bear gives up the lead. He's on pit road.
I know Aaron keeps track of a lot of stats, but is this the fastest race in XCAL history? This thing is flying by.
No. We've actually taken the time. It may get very, very close. We've had a few that went a lot quicker. Well, not a lot quicker, but we have had a few that have gone quicker. But they have been few and far between. I do think Bristol last year went really quick. But that was due to extenuating circumstances. So we've seen some short ones, especially at tracks like Irwindale. But man, they're few and far between. And I did notice Irwindale Inner not on the calendar this year. Kind of depressing, because when you get 30 cars on Irwindale Inner, it's interesting. And we've seen some huge arguments and intentional contact at that one.
Yeah, Irwindale's a fun track out for sure. The RR race there in the ARCA series. Fun track over there.
Run the inner loop, and it's even more fun when you put 30 of these cars on the inner loop. Yeah, let's just say the first time I saw an Irwindale Inter XCAL race, the last few laps were 5 wide, which I didn't think was possible. And there was a lot of arguing and a lot of protests filed after that race. And a lot of penalties handed down.
Jeremy and Nick still out there running. Cristiano's still out there running. Curious to see how the pit comes out here. As Jose and Matt, I believe, already finished their pits. We know Albie's running long, so we'll see what happens with his finishing spot.
It's definitely going to be, as Matt is back out, things are about to shake out, and we'll be right back. We're going to take our final commercial break, and Nick will be able to go to lap 360. That's going to be huge. Stick around. We'll be back in just a moment, and when we come back, we're taking you to the finish. All right, folks, welcome back, and now we are back to the finish and pit strategy. Time plays out. Nick Seams is on pit road sooner than we expected on lap 342. We were expecting him to go a little bit further. However, he still can get away with less fuel. May see a right side tire only change, 1 can of fuel, and he'll be good to go from here. Matt Baer now back in third. Jeremy Gilliott has the lead for the moment. And Jared, it's getting late in the race. 1 car left to hit pit road. And who are you thinking?
It's going to come down to what Nick Seams does here, and I'm keeping my eye on that double zero to see what he does. Right sides went up on that car. Left sides did go up on that car. So he must have had enough fuel that he could take both side tires. Matt Baer did just pass him, and he's out. So it looks like it's not enough. We'll see what Jeremy does on his last stop. I'll keep an eye on that one.
Well, Jeremy Gilliott now almost 50 laps from the finish as Nick Seams rolls out in third. Still another podium finish for the college kid. Since his coming back, during the summer. I mean, he's only been in a few races this summer, but he's been on a tear. Almost every race has been a podium finish so far. I'm taking a look. 5 races, 4 top 10s, 2 top 5s. So, I mean, he has been on it since he came back.
Absolutely. He seems they're fast, man. They're all really fast. You see, you know, and you never know. Late caution can still shake this thing up. We haven't seen it yet, but you're always waiting to see what happens. He seems to have something from that, I think, if caution will come out.
Oh, most definitely. I think this is Jeremy Gilliatt now hitting pit road. Will cycle the lead back to Matt Bear as he comes by flying Ryan. Ryan now in 7th. Expect him to move up a little bit before this is over as he is closing the gap on Albie Hewins. Albie currently in 6th, but Albie has not completed his final stop yet. I think Albie and Friley are the last 2 to pit.
Well, Julian apparently had to take enough fuel to take both sides. He took right and lefts as well in that 27, but didn't take much longer after that. I think we might see a battle here for a second. See whenever things update to see where Seams is at. I think Julian's going to have the advantage.
Double checking, I could have swore Nick had a podium finish, but I'm being corrected. No, he's got 2 4ths, an 8th, and 11th, and I'm really surprised. I would have sworn Nick had been up there on the podium, but definitely looking for it, looking like he's got it tonight. He's got a 10-second lead on Jose Godino in 4th and pulling away. And Cristiano Roca stayed in the fight last week, even after getting caught up in that early incident. But this week he's really shown us the kind of speed he has. That car is going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, he's see if he can find more speed as the season goes along. I don't know exactly how much experience he has on the opens, but he has something to figure out tonight. He has speed. He's running, you know, competitive lap times all night. He's still out running, so we'll see if the strategy pays off for him as well.
Well, Matt Bear still has the lead. Jeremy Gilliatt is back on the lead lap, 11.5 seconds back. He is closing in, though. Nick Seams in 3rd is also 8.3 seconds behind Gilliatt. And looked like he was gaining on him for a little bit there. He has to come by Colson and loses a little bit of ground. But Seams may be able to reel in Gilliatt. Just over 40 laps to go here. Looking forward to seeing how these drivers do next week when we go to USA International Raceway. That one will be a ton of fun. As I mentioned, we've had some great finishes there. Some exciting finishes for sure. And things, you know, that is one of those tracks, Jared. Everybody starts out on that track, and everybody thinks after they get that first win there that they are really good there. But it's easy to be good there. It is really difficult to be great there.
Oh, absolutely. These 2 tracks, Lanier, USA, are more on the rookie iRacing schedule. So they're free. If you have iRacing, looking into get iRacing, you can be on this track for just the iRacing subscription. And then, heck, you know, you get iRacing, you want to get on here, you want to take your car across the street, and Road Atlanta is right across the street from Lanier. So get out there with a road course as well. That's what they should do after this race. But take those cars to Road Atlanta and see what those cars can do over there.
You know, that would, XCAL has implemented a couple more road courses over the last couple seasons. It'd definitely be interesting to see Road Atlanta as you come down that long back straightaway into that little S section at the bottom of the hill. That could get very, very interesting, exciting. And, you know, even the best drivers miss that turn all the time. So that could be a fun one to watch.
We're looking forward to running Road Atlanta later in the year with some endurance stuff and things. So I know Matt loves that road stuff as well. Running NSS here in a couple of weeks as Road Atlanta goes back there. So
well,
it's always a fun track. I mean, no matter where you're at in Richardson, Georgia, you can find a good track no matter what side of it.
This is true, and as the race winds down. Just under 40 to go. Your full field rundown brought to you by How to Suck at iRacing. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Nowski is actually off as they reconfigure, but Monday night, there will be a big charity event. You guys, we posted some information on Facebook earlier. We'll be talking more about that this week, but a big charity event. A couple more charity events coming in the works to support the MS Society. Really excited about that. And yeah, a lot to look forward to, and always excited for MS Society stuff personally. Matt Bear has the lead at the moment, but Jeremy Gilliott has closed the gap down to 7.8 seconds. Nick Seams sits in third, playing the strategy game, doing awesome. 9.5 seconds back from Gilliott. Jose Godino looking at another top 5 finish here tonight, running in 4th place. Cristiano Roca, whoa, a close call there with Colson as he comes off 4. Roca currently in 5th, really showing us what he's got tonight. Flying Ryan back in 6th. He is closing in, but will he have enough time to catch Roca? Derek Colson currently sitting in 7th, one of his best runs of the season. Great to see Colson doing so well, and I know this has to feel like redemption for him. Albie Hewins also in a great run, has had an awesome season, currently running in 8th. Brent Mekas started on the pole, currently running in 9th. Mekas picking up a lot of bonus points here tonight. John Friley currently running in 10th. Friley struggling a little bit, but still going to get a top 10 finish here tonight. Wild Bill Percy, his XCAL debut, currently running in 11th. Had a top 10 spot. Looked like he was going to pull off, but problems on pit road set him back. Latarl and Purdy and Sean Andrews both out of the race early. Friley is back on pit road and almost had a problem getting on pit road there. I don't know. Wild Bill may not be out of this top 10 yet.
This one's scheduled. He's been off sequence and pitting after the leaders quite a bit. He hasn't pitted since lap 280, so this is about his lap 280. He's multiple laps down, so I believe this one's scheduled.
Well, Jeremy Gilliott continues to close in on the Mad Bear. 25 laps to go, 7.1 seconds back. Does he have enough time to catch him here? Nick Seams also closing in on Gilliott, now just 9.25 seconds back. Looking at it, Nick actually pitted after Jeremy Gilliott. Or I'm sorry, before Gilliott, so he's got slightly older tires, and yet he is running Gilliott down. I've been saying all night, the Seamses definitely have some speed late in this race. I think these day to night races, the Seamses and oftentimes their teams working with them set up for that cooler temperature, so they are a little slower on the outset, but over the long run, they close that gap.
They always have that little bit of speed. They stay with it very well. Like I said, I think it's just more strategy than anything else. It was just Matt found something early that was able to and just continued it the whole night. That the Seamses didn't quite recognize. Maybe they should have gone shorter, and they might be beating themselves up. They had an opportunity here to win a race, and Matt came in and took it.
Well, and it is interesting, Matt was not confident about this one, and, you know, it's not over yet because Gilliott is now just 6 seconds back, but it is one thing to catch the Mad Bear. It's a whole nother thing to pass him, and coming down 18 laps to go, worth reminding the fans at home, at 10 laps to go, if the caution comes out, there will be no more wave arounds. At 5 to go, Aaron Hillebush will tell the drivers, green, green, green. There will be no more cautions, no matter what. However, as we've mentioned in the past, that last 5 laps, it gets a bit aggressive. You can be post-race penalized and we have seen a mistake in that last 5 laps cause a driver the win.
It seems he's catching Matt Bear to try to get that lap back, so maybe Matt could be under some fire here. Who knows? We're seeing fireworks come out of him.
Have to say, Seams is tearing it up the last part of this race. That first half, he was just cruising, but the second half, that car is on fire, and Matt has slowed down a bit. I don't know if that's a conservation move or he knows he's got this thing. He's even going to move over and just let Nick, the college kid, go by.
It's probably the best idea, conservation at this point. You're literally almost a whole lap ahead of him because he's right in front of you. So as long as you're just running decent lap times and doing okay, Julian doesn't really have much of a shot at catching you. We're almost head to go here.
Yeah.
You're just making sure you're running good enough lap times to stay up there. But you don't even have to push at this point. Just make sure you put that thing in victory lane at the end of it at this point.
4 seconds is the gap with coming down to 11 laps to go. Yeah, Juliet's going to have to crank up a lot, and he is going to have to come around Flying Ryan. Don't know how easy he's going to get by that car. Flying Ryan definitely, he's got his position locked up, but who knows? There could be a little deal making. Nope, Ryan goes up to the high side. He's going to let Juliet go by easily. Really?
Yeah, that's the right thing at this point. Everybody's looking for points. They all know pretty much where they're at. Some of these cars are, their next position's a whole lap ahead of them. So it's sort of like why push the issue at this point.
Well, Juliet continues to close in, but 8 laps to go. There will be no more wave rounds if the caution comes out. And hey, if we make it another 3 laps, this will be only the third time in XCAL history that we have gone green to checkers. And 2 of those times have actually been this season, come to think of it. So 1 time last season, twice this season, and a bit of a surprise there. Not something you'd expect.
This track is, I would have thought somebody would have done something wrong about the contract today. It's great to see these guys come out here and run a clean race. You put this many good drivers on the track, you never know when egos start to happen.
Yep. 5 to go. Matt Bear crossed the line. Aaron Billabush just told him green, green, green. There will be no more cautions. So we are going to the finish, and we will go green to checkers here. Hey, it sounds like our race this morning, green to checkers in the trucks, despite the fact we were trying to wreck each other. If you missed out on Dirt Tuesday, you can find those races on the YouTube channel. It's been a while, but Dirt Tuesdays are back. We hope this morning didn't go as planned. Hopefully next week will go a lot better. Matt Bear is going to come out of turn 4. Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 laps to go. Matt Bear will head to victory lane for, I believe, the 5th time this season. And 4 out of the last 5 races, white flag is in the air. Jeremy Gilliard has closed it down to 2.3 seconds. He was on a tear. But it is not enough. Out of turn 4, Matt Bear pulls off his 5th win of the season. Gilliard comes home in 2nd. The college kid on the podium tonight in 3rd. Jose Godino comes home 4th. Cristiano Roca in 5th. Flying Ryan finishing in 6th. Colson in 7th. Albie Hewins a great run in 8th. Brent Meckes in 9th. John Friley in 10th. And Wild Bill comes home 11th in his debut. Not a bad debut, if I do say so.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody came out here today, got a good finish, got a good point stay. So talk to these leaders, talk to the podium, and see what they say about this one.
Nick has got to be happy. Ryan over there helping him celebrate. These two definitely have figured stuff out this season. I honestly think we'll see Nick in victory lane in the next two, let's say 2 races. He's just been too consistent, too fast. I think he's just missing one little piece, and I bet, based on the last half of this race, I bet he has found it. And it looks like the top 3 are there, so let's see if we can get a word with third place, the College Kid. Hey, Nick, it's Doug and Jared. You got us?
Yes, I do.
Hey, finally, I was mistaken. I thought you'd already podiumed once this season, but your first podium finish, long overdue. You've definitely been fast all season.
Yeah, I've been super close. I think multiple 4th place finishes. I'm always there, but somehow this is the first time I did it.
It has been an awesome season and obviously a very, very good run tonight. Man, the second half of that race, the first half you didn't look like you had the pace, but the second half you were just charging.
Yeah, at the start I felt like my tires maybe made it a little too tight, so I messed with the tire pressures a little, made it feel worse, so I went back to the normal thing, and it started doing better the colder the track got.
Well, it definitely paid off, man. Finally getting into victory lane, helping out the JNS Racing Aces tonight, and another great job. Any team or sponsors or anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank GP Land, Flaming Karma Paint Shop, and XCAL, XCAL Web Shop, XCAL itself, and the broadcast booth. I'd also like to shout out Joe and Danielle for putting me in the car, and Flying Ryan Seams, my uncle, and my dad, Jason Seams.
Well, and I hear rumor that we're going to have possibly the entire Bustin' at the Seams team before too much longer. So looking forward to that, and another great job tonight.
Thank you.
The College Kid comes home in third. Jeremy Gilliott comes home in second. Jared, you want to take that one?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. We got you, Jeremy?
I think we do.
Well, he just muted that.
I don't think we have here.
I'll put him back up. We'll try and get a word with him here in a moment. Again, let's talk to our winner, the Mad Bear. Matt, 5th win of the season and extend the points lead.
Yeah, man, I really don't know how that just happened. I knew I had to try to do something different, so I went with the 5-gallon stop every time. And I assumed that Jeremy and Nick were going to be able to get me on the last stop, taking about half the fuel that I was expecting them to take compared to what I took. And came out of the pits there on that last stop and had a solid like 12-second lead on Jeremy there. And then at that point, I just knew I had to hit my marks, and it would be very tough for him to get to me. I knew he would get close, but I didn't think 50 laps was going to be enough, even on older tires, to run me down. But shout out to Jeremy and Nick. They definitely, I think, had the 2 best cars here tonight. I just strategized my way into this race tonight.
Well, Jared called it. He figured that's what you were doing, 5-gallon stops, and it definitely paid off perfectly for you tonight. Obviously, another win, the points lead extending. And I have to say, your car owner, Austin Edwards, has to be happy knowing that this car keeps getting into victory lane, even with him not at the wheel.
Yeah, man, it's definitely a team effort. To be completely honest, I had college baseball games every night after last Tuesday's race, so I literally had no practice going into the race. I ran a different setup last night in the heat race and had about 30 laps of practice before the race tonight. And I knew that I didn't think I was going to have the speed, so we were just fortunate enough to be able to have enough fuel to make it there. In the end, didn't even have enough fuel to do a burnout there, so that's telling you how close we were there to making it. So big shout out to Austin and everybody over at EHP that's helping me out still. Down to a solo car deal, going up against the whole field isn't easy, but we're finding a way to get the job done, Doug. And if nobody believed in me tonight, God did.
Well, man, a great job as always. Congratulations, 5th win of the season, a happy car owner and a happy driver. The Mad Bear back in victory lane, buddy. Good job.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Well, Jared, that was not at all what we expected here tonight.
No, definitely not. You know, whenever you have a short field like this, you know, that's going to happen. But ultimately, still a clean race. Great job by these guys getting around this tricky track for 400 laps. It made for a quick race, and hopefully it was entertaining. We did what we could, but you know, Matt ran away most of the night, and just nobody found the strategy to find him.
Looks like I'm going to try and pull Jeremy Gilliott up and get a quick word. And Jared, you got Jeremy.
Hopefully.
Hey, Jeremy, it's Doug and Jared in the booth. You got us? I don't know why his mic is muted.
I don't know if we have him or not.
Well, we'll try and get him for pre-race next week. It auto-muted when he came up, so I'm not sure what happened there. But Jared, as always, thank you for being in the booth tonight. That was a great race.
Yeah, like I said, it's a clean race. Interesting points night. Matt Bear comes away with another win. That 18 car just seems to win every week, and if he's not winning, we're wondering why. So he had a chance last week at Atlanta to almost make it 5 straight. So, hey, he had the right strategy. He had the right car, had the speed to get it done. So it was good that 18 car back in victory lane, not a surprise.
Well, and just an awesome night all the way around. A lot of drivers making up a lot of points. Don't forget to come back next Tuesday night. We are at USA, and that promises, if nothing else, one of the craziest finishes you'll likely ever see. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you all had as much fun as we did tonight. Have a great night, everybody.